Okay.
Hey, 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 hey. Okay, it's Friday. All right, now listen. Ashley's with me, and I always do this. I always start talking, and it's already live. So I want to make sure that you guys are connected with me. So I'm going to just give a second before I do my open, and I'm going to then do my opening, and then we'll start because I don't want Facebook and Zoom to get the better of me like they did when Theron and I were talking. But I think we're live now. Hey y'all, hey, it's Tracy time. It's time for another moment with me, Tracy Time, and it is a fabulous Friday. How are you guys doing today? Oh my goodness. I am thrilled to be in a position where I can be with you. Why? Because we're blue. We're blue, we're blue, we're blue, we're blue, we're blue. Okay, let me say this. We are in a phenomenal position. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I want you to know that in addition to all the wonderfulness that we have today, we have a guest. Now, as you all know, we have full-time permanent jobs, many of us, where we fit in lunch and we get a chance to have lunch together. That's what this is. So I'm grateful that Ashley Evans has taken time to have lunch with us. And even though she can't be on screen, she is dialed in because she's just taking a break from lunch. And she said today is one of the busiest days, of course. So I said, we absolutely still want to hear from you. This is an extension of me doing the continuation of our Black business, right? We know that we are supporting Black businesses. August was Black Business Month. Every chance I got, I celebrated and lauded and gave awareness to and exposure for Black businesses. I want to continue to do that so that I can ensure that businesses, specifically local Black businesses, are in a position where they can have the support, patronage, and awareness that they deserve. So I want to give you an opportunity and to know one thing, that there is a young lady who's also here in the city. Her name is Tab. I think she goes, her name is Tabitha, I think. And it may be Tabitha because I could have just given her an extra something. But I want you to know that Tabitha Gibson, I'm going to call her Tabitha for now because I may be wrong. And then Tabitha, if you are listening, just feel free to correct me, okay? I'm okay to be corrected. I need that because I want to say your name right, because she's a phenomenal woman of color. She's a Black woman here in the area. She started the group Where Black Memphis Eats, and then she extended to Where Black Memphis Gets It. And Where Black Memphis Gets It is a group of people on Facebook that have services and goods to provide. I am happy to tell you that I posted and extended an invitation to all of the businesses that are on Where Black Memphis Gets It, to showcase them, to give them an opportunity to have a platform here with me, and for them to take a few minutes to just share information about their business. We have learned so much from the offerings, not just for the food offerings, but also for the services that are being provided in the city that have been phenomenal gifts to the community, that are provided by people of color, Black people. We own businesses, Black owned businesses are thriving in the midst of a pandemic, somebody. Hello, hello, hello. So I just wanted to celebrate the opportunity, and I'm gonna bring her in. Ashley, go ahead and unmute yourself because I know you're on the phone and you guys won't be able to see her, as I said, but you will be able to hear her, and I want you to reap the benefit of it. So Ashley, unmute your phone and let's see if she can, she's being sensitive to the timing, and I want to make sure we give her an opportunity. Meanwhile, OMG, y'all, can you say Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania? Can we just give Stacey Abrams, while we're waiting for Ashley to unmute herself and talk to her, can we just give Stacey Abrams her flowers? Can we have a Stacey Abrams Appreciation Day today, okay? Can we say thank you, Stacey Abrams, for allowing us the opportunity to be in a position where we can be encouraged and motivated and move to not just register, but actively participate in our democracy? Can we say amen to Stacey Abrams? You, Stacey Abrams, are one of the women who is a Black girl who rocks. All right, now, Ashley, also a Black girl who rocks. How are you today?
Hello, everyone. How are you? I am so excited to be on the show with Tracy. I am so grateful for this opportunity to see how businesses, especially Black businesses in Memphis, are doing, again, like she said, in this pandemic, and just to have that Black magic. I believe the world needs to see more of our Black magic. It is so powerful. And again, Stacey Abrams is totally rocking, and I give kudos to Stacey Abrams and all the ladies and men like her. This is going to be an awesome year for Black people, for people of color, and I'm just absolutely looking forward to it.
It's a great time in the country to know that our democracy works. Now, tell us what else works. You have a business, and we want to hear all about it, Ashley. So tell us about, first, what is the name of your business?
The name of my business is Modesty Image Consulting. So that's MODESTEE, Image Consulting. And what I do is I actually go virtual with women right now, or anyone, and I take a look through their closets to see what they have. Because sometimes, especially us as women, we don't, I don't have anything to wear. I don't have anything to wear. Well, it's about what you have already, and I can go from there and see what you have, put outfits together for you at that point. And then if there's something specifically you need, then I can go out and shop for you. And I also, another element of my service is, fall and winter is rapidly approaching. So it's time to get rid of the summer outfit. So I come in and I redo your closet. So I can transition your closets from spring to summer to fall to winter. So I offer that service as well.
Okay. Now, there are some friends of mine who are clothes horses. VJ, I'm not going to call you out. Hey, VJ girl. Who might want to be able to take advantage of this opportunity that you provide and the service that you provide. Let me do a couple shout outs to the people watching. As always, Cammie Stanley, love you, love you, love you. Thank you for being here. V, I know you're working and you popping in saying hello. I'd like to give a special acknowledgement to Broad Hacker. How you doing? And y'all, do you hear what Ashley just said? She said that she will do a virtual tour and inventory with you of your closet. Okay, so if you guys are like me, you would probably have to get your closet a little bit cleaned up before you let anybody see it, virtual or otherwise. However, opportunity to have Ashley come in, look at your closet, so you're selecting pieces there are some pieces, Ashley, that are universal through all climates that you can layer or match, and then you get other things that need to be stored and put away, and then you're helping them organize their wardrobe and preparing them based on what their needs are. Is that how this would work?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I go from everyday look to you want to glam it up, maybe for some occasion or whatever. I do it all.
Okay, fantastic. Because if you know that there are some people like me, my favorite color is from childhood is blue. It's especially nice now that it's blue. Hello, Democrats. But I also love, no shame in my game, Ashley. I'm proud. I also happen to love black. And with black, there are so many different hues of black, right? That you can sometimes, it's like matching black and matching brown and matching blue are hard because black has a blue base, a purple base, and there are other colors to it. But what do you say to someone who has a monochromatic closet?
I would actually say you can find that black, and then you can work that in so many different angles with that. So you can put a blue with it, that's your favorite color. You can put a white with it for a classic look. You can put a red with it for just a color pop. Or you can, put a blush with it, because we do know that blush is a new color right now. It's really hot. A berry. You can work it with different occasions and different angles, and people are like, oh my goodness, do you have a new outfit? No, it's just you know how to work what you have. Okay, so that's where I come in at, and just make what you have already pop and just give it a new look, totally new look. So it could be that classic black and white, but you put on a pair of red earrings, or you put on a pair of red pumps, or your statement piece could be, that handbag that you have. that could be your statement piece and give that look a whole another like dimension almost. And people are like, oh my goodness. I personally do it all the time.
Okay.
I mean, black is not my favorite color, but you know, I take a black piece and I put a orange or a yellow with it, and maybe some black pumps, and then I pop it out with something else, and people are like, "Oh my goodness, how and where did you get that?"
Okay, very good. So you specialize in taking what we already have and making the most of it and creating versatility and options with it. That sounds like yeah, that sounds like an ideal state. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in a position where they wouldn't have to go to the store, don't have to shop online. You can take what you already have. And oftentimes, and I know this is true, so I'm looking and leaning in close to all of us, okay, looking in the mirror, indict myself, that we have things in our closet that still have tags on them, that we have virtual fantastic intention that, oh, when I saw it, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna wear this, and then it's just sitting there. And so now you are gonna take all things, old and new, in the full color spectrum and mix and match some things and help then people create not just new looks, but to really maximize and use the things they have in their closet. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is phenomenal. So how long have you been doing this?
You know, honestly, fashion has always been a part of my life, but I honestly started the business like during this pandemic.
Okay.
Like I was talking to so many people and they was like, well, you really need to, you know, just get out there and do it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to step out here and I'm going to do it. And so I got everything going like right before the pandemic like happened. And I was just like, oh my goodness, there's a pandemic. And I just been trying to work the business, you know, during the pandemic.
And then how does the virtual aspect of it, and you guys ask me questions. Hey, Derek, love you, boo. As you guys ask questions of Ashley too, because you know I'll get carried away and won't remember everything. Because I get excited about it because I'm so excited to learn that once again, this is another service in a completely different industry where a Black woman has a business. And so when you do a virtual, you actually have them, you connect with them in advance and find out what their needs are. And then you literally have them say, okay, let me show you, or let me see everything in your closet, or let me see your closet overall, or pull out the pieces that you want. How does it work?
Yes, so I will actually connect with them. I'll find out what their needs are, what they need, what they don't need, what direction are they trying to go in. So are you trying to go in more of a trendy look? Are you trying to go in more of a classic look? Are you trying to go in a vintage look? What's your overall thing that you would like to see for yourself?
Okay.
So I would go there after we discuss that. Then I would ask permission to see their closets, however many they do have, because you know sometimes us as women we have a closet for this and a closet for that. So I will need to see the closets and see okay what they already have, so we can like okay we can work with this. We probably need to get rid of that. We need to work with this, and you know. Try to keep as much as possible, but if there's something that you do need to get rid of, I will let you know that as well.
Okay, so then you can really truly do this with anyone in as long as they have internet access, you can provide this service. It doesn't have to be
absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. That's good to know. Okay. Hey Tara, you jumping on real fast, love you. Tara, this is a fantastic service. Tara, Derek, with all your 15 closets, Derek. We I'm calling them out with love. They know I love them. We got some clothes represented on here for our viewers today, and I want y'all to know that you can have some support to get those closets and get those wardrobes and maximize that and create versatility. And so then let's talk about them connecting with you. How does a potential client connect with you to learn more, to get started?
Okay, so you can email me. That is like more the quickest way to get me is my email is modesteeimage@gmail.com. So I'm going to spell that. So it's MODESTEE image@gmail.com.
Did y'all get that? MODE. Spell again, Ashley. I'm putting it on here so people can see it.
MODESTE Image Consulting. That's the name of my business. Yes, 2 E's.
And so the email address is modesteeimage@gmail.com.
Correct.
Okay. I'm putting it on here right now so people will have it. And in terms of pricing, how do your services and your fees, how does that work? How do you determine is it a flat fee? Is it based on the client need? Is there a range? How does it work, Ashley?
Well, I do it hourly. So based on what your needs are, we can go from there.
Okay.
And,
all right.
And the most important thing, if there's a client that needs a lot done to their closet, then I block off that amount of time for that particular client. So, I don't want to overbook. I don't want to do any of that. I want to make sure that the clients are having, all of the things that they need from me, the services that I'm providing. So it's very important that if they want certain time frames, that they let me know so I can know how to do my schedule and won't book myself.
Okay, very good.
Because I want to make sure I get them the best customer service as possible.
All right, y'all got questions? I'm tapping into V may be gone because she's working and we're having lunch together too. But y'all ask me if you have any questions for Ashley, because she's here now and you can get this consultation information for free. Come on now, y'all got something you want to know, like what are you doing with your closets? For me, part of the issue is that I'm so grateful. I just said this the other day, Ashley. I'm so grateful that I have a walk-in closet. In a previous home, the house was built in 1928. So, the closet was like this big. It was teeny, like, you open the door and put in 2 hangers and it's full. And so I'm so God has blessed me to have increased, and now I have a walk-in closet. But now what's happened with that walk-in closet is that it's full too. And I see that there are things that I buy, like shoes. Fantastic example. I can get some shoes that I think, oh my gosh, I love these, or I get them, I put them on and walk around the house, and then they go back in the box and they're stored away. And then I think, when I look in my closet, like, well, now what did I think I was going with these? I'm not wearing these shoes. So then what do you make as a recommendation for clients who say, okay, I know I have all of these items. Do you say, but I'm never going to wear them, right? Like the 2-year rule. I've had this and I've never worn it, so it's out the door. What do you say to clients in terms of making donations and recommendations? Do you tell them to dress for success and pay them forward? Do you tell them to will them to people, gift them to people, donate them? What do you recommend in that case?
Well, you can also give those to me, and I could, take them to the Goodwill, or, even maybe give them to the homeless that may not have anything. So there's different ways that people can get rid of the things that they don't need.
Okay.
If they let me know when we meet over the phone or wherever, or put that in the email or something, that they need something to be donated, then I can be like, okay, well, we're going to kind of like make a pile. Okay, we're going to make this a donation pile. We're going to make sure this is not, incorporated in the overall look that you're wanting.
Okay.
So that's one thing that it would be very, very important if they let me know, hey, I'm going to donate this, so I don't even look at those clothes for them, but they're trying to get rid of them. Yeah, okay. And let me know.
In an ideal state, that's good. You brought up a really good point, that in an ideal circumstance, what you really would like, if okay, let's use me hypothetically. I know there's some things in my closet. So I try to go through and have a rule, right? If I'm bringing something in, I need to take something out so that I don't go in my closet and my rod has just said, I surrender. I really am clear about that. And I can tell you too, in the pandemic, my t-shirt ministry is so strong right now, Ashley. Like, and I say that in my beloved Gina Neely, she uses ministry and I love it. So my t-shirt ministry my t-shirt game is strong right now, okay? And finding a way to store those things has been challenging in my closet, because that's not what I would ordinarily wear to work. And so those would be the type of things that would not be considered as part of the wardrobe, right? So you would want to say, you want your client to tell you in advance, okay, we're not looking at this. Don't look at these things. Like this stuff I'm going to wear like when I'm working from home at my desk. So we don't have that. But when I'm going to present something or I need to attend something, then these would be the items. So you want there to be some kind of precursor or prerequisite work that they would do before they get in a position where you're looking at their closet. Is that right?
Yes, that would be really, really helpful if they could do that. That just lets me know, okay, I don't have to so much look at this part because they're not really worried about that. But if they could let me know in advance, okay, this is where these are the areas that I need the most help in, that would be tremendous, tremendous.
That makes perfect sense. What am I forgetting to ask you? Because I know that you started this, you're pandemic proof. I'm claiming pandemic proof for you right now, that in the midst of a pandemic, you have leaped out on faith and opened a business helping people who are also living in the midst of a pandemic. And what better timing, Ashley, than now when people are at home, working from home, and not only have the time, but I can tell you, are just running through their head when they go in and see, okay, this is something I can control. That's one of the things as a coach, I tell my clients, make sure that you are doing things that you have control over, that you can control, and having that phenomenal sense of accomplishment and having a short-term goal is great, especially when you're having levels of anxiety or you're suffering with depression. And so being able to tackle a closet and then look at it and say, okay, now I can look forward to wearing these outfits, or now I can take this article of clothing and match it with something that I never considered before, or do a color combination that I would never even process, is exciting, right? And so you're part of what is a current solution that's happening in the pandemic. So I applaud you.
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. I'm so excited about this whole opportunity. It's just so wonderful, to be able to, like you said, help people in the midst of the pandemic. Because sometimes you look in your closet, you're like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? And sometimes you just maybe, again, have anxiety or something about even what you're going to wear. And that's where I come in. I don't want people to stress about what they're going to wear. If I can help with that, hey, get in contact with me. That's the last thing you need to do, especially during the pandemic. Be worried about what you got to wear. And if you got to present something, wouldn't it be great if you had to present something to a boss or a CEO, you already have it already laid out, and that's one less thing you have to worry about?
That's right. And I can tell you, you are so on the money. You have segued me perfectly to the next things I want to talk about. But before we wrap up, you don't have to worry about trying to get in touch with Ashley Evans. You don't have to worry about trying to get a way to figure out what you're going to do with that dang on overflowing closet, since you've been sitting back and shopping so that you wouldn't sit back and eat or sit back and drink. You've been sitting back and shopping. You've gotten a delivery from Amazon and Eloquy and Land's End. And is Land's End still open, y'all? And Old Navy and all these other places where you've been buying clothes, and your closet is overflowing and you got stuff in bags you haven't even taken out yet. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Contact Ashley Evans at Modesty Consulting, Modesty Image Consulting. And the email address I posted is modesteeimage@gmail.com. Ashley, this has been a wonderful treat for me. I know we were working on scheduling and trying to get us connected. And I told you I wasn't going to give up. I was going to make sure that you got on this daggone show. So I'm so glad that you took time to be with us today.
I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to do it, and you allowed me that. I'm so grateful for that.
Absolutely. I look forward to you coming back when we can connect again. You can be on camera. We can talk about all the things that have happened, and we'll do a 6-month follow-up. So now I make you do a pinky swear. So hold up your pinky, even though I can't see you. Hold up and do a pinky swear. Then in 6 months, you're going to circle back with me, because you will be like all the way into this thing, and we'll be on the other side of this pandemic, because we'll have a new president. So we'll have a president that's going to approach this pandemic in a different way that will afford you some even better opportunities. I'm claiming that right now for you. So I'm looking forward to your updated praise report. So 6-month pinky swear. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Now you can hang with me and listen, or you are welcome to fall back into the rhythm, get you something to eat. I know you got to go back to work this afternoon, so I don't want to keep you, but we got to talk about Paula doggone crazy foolishness White. Now, Ashley, I would be remiss in the midst of this if I didn't say Paula White and her foolishness. Okay, so let me say this. I'm gonna go ahead and mute yourself. Thank you so much. Y'all get in touch with Ashley Evans and Modesty Image Consulting, and you don't have to worry if you get with her about what you're gonna wear. But now, what Paula White had on yesterday, she could have had on an outfit from on high. What she said was all the way low. The woman was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when she did her little. Y'all saw it. I posted it. OMG. All right. We got to talk about this doggone foolishness. First, what angels from Africa is she talking about, y'all? Can anybody please tell me what angels from Africa is she talking about? She was doing this and this. The woman is insane. Disagree. I'd love someone to disagree with me. Let me ask you, what were you thinking when you saw the clip that I shared and said we're going to talk about it today? Because I don't want somebody to be in a position like that. I don't even think that she was speaking in tongues. Now, I can tell y'all, I haven't spoken in tongues, but I've been around plenty of folks, plenty in my lifetime who have. Do y'all think she was speaking in tongues? Or do you think she was trying to imitate somebody who was speaking in tongues? Because she was doing this and doing this. I was like, you trying to beat it out? Like, it wasn't right. But I want to know what you think. Because I saw it and thought pure foolery. Pure foolishness and tomfoolery is what I thought when I saw it. It's right in line with the other foolery that we got going on. I'm not surprised that she's the spiritual consultant for the White House, because guess what? That man is a demon. Hello, somebody. So it makes sense that she's conjuring up stuff. I don't know why she had to put Africa, South Africa, and Africa in it. Central America. What was she talking about? Is there some angelic village in Africa that you can pull from and source people? I don't know what she's talking about. I need for y'all to tell me. I need some help. Help me out. All I need is somebody to say what you thought. What did you think about her prayer? Because she had this full, they did this full vigil. They have had this prayer thing going on, and then that was what was captured. So who knows whatever else she said. But what do y'all think? I want to know. Let me see. Yes, thank you, Stephanie. There is no pure spirit in the White House right now. Not a single one. Is there one? We don't have one. Part of it is you really can't have a pure spirit and be connected to the occupant, because he is evil. Even if you had people that were in there that had the idea that, okay, I'm going to meet this, and because I know I'm anchored and I'm covered and I'm armored, I can do it. Stephanie, you can't put yourself in a position where your eye gate and ear gate and your spirit is constantly being bombarded by that. Not to say that God isn't strong enough, because he's sovereign. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, why would you want to put yourself in a position where you're literally sitting in an enemy of thieves and an enemy of lies and an enemy of hate? That's just it's just negative. What do y'all think? I mean, this woman, first of all, okay, we're gonna talk about Paula. I'm gonna get you to say what the other 2 cents you want to put on here. Go ahead and type it in, because here, wait a minute. Okay, and then what black folks right? Okay, Stephanie said I don't think she knows black folks in Africa. She called on. Who was she calling on? I need for some saints. I need y'all to tell me, okay? Because everybody grows. We all have different levels of learnedness, of connectivity. My covenant with God is different from yours. But now, what was she doing? I need somebody to tell me, what the heck was she doing? Because I was like, this and that, and then she started. I was like, what, Carol? Carol, come on. You don't hold back. I got to hear from you. I'm so glad you're on here. I got to hear from you. Go ahead and say what you got to say. Stephanie, now I'm going to tell y'all something. When I saw it, it was concerning to me. I have 2 other points about the video clip that we saw that I want to make. I want to hear what else y'all. Yes, you're right, Stephanie. The flesh does crave power. And that's all this is. That's all any of this is. We know that Trump doesn't care about the election because he wants to be a leader of the people, because he cares about the democracy, because he wants the integrity of the country to be maintained. No, he's focused on the power. Paula White, that's a power trip. That's a power play. But now I gotta ask y'all one thing. Let me make sure I didn't miss any comments, because I have to ask one thing. What was the man that was walking behind her reading the book doing? Is that part of something I don't know about? Because I kept saying to myself, who is this? I thought the first time I saw him, I said, okay, you know, he made a mistake. Then he walked again. I was like, wait a minute, where is he going? And then he did it again. And then they panned back, and he was just looked like he was just walking back and forth on the pulpit. Like, what? What was he doing? Then, right, what was he doing? I was like, and what was he had? Did he have a jacket over his shoulder and a book in his hand? What was he reading? Was he giving her cues? Was he helping her conjure? I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what is this man doing? And then the other part I want y'all to, if you looked at the clip, then you know what I'm talking about, because I wasn't really sure, but I thought I saw Candace Owens in the lower right-hand corner with her hands up. What's that Candace Owens, y'all? And I'm not trying to be funny, I'm serious. What's that her? Okay, he had some sage hidden under there. They were trying to cleanse the room from her demons. Well, you know how they have those disinfectant machines, Stephanie, where they come in and disinfect office spaces and you know, salons and open spaces and stuff. That's what they need, some sage that will literally, they need a fumigator of sage, because that's not right. But did y'all see that woman? I was like, what is happening in this place? Where is this place? Why is this place? What the heck? I said, what the heck, Jekyll and Hyde is happening? First, you got the nerve to be standing up there conjuring, number one. Then you got this guy behind you walking back and forth, pacing. And I'm like, what is he doing? Is that part of this whole skit? Somebody said, I think friend Valerie Inglade said she thought that it looked like an SNL skit. I told her, it will be an SNL skit on Saturday. They're probably going to use that. And you know how because they're so good, make sure they have every element covered, including the black lady in the front that I swear y'all I think is Candace Owens, and then the guy walking back and forth. Candace Owens got a new job working in Tennessee too. We're gonna have to talk about that next week. Carol, what'd you say? It makes no sense that she was calling on angels to oppress. What is all the world? Let me see, wait. What is all the world? She's gonna call on angels from Africa to oppress Black folks, or anybody for that matter. Amen, Carol. And you said you can't listen to it. It was disturbing. It was disturbing. And I want you to see if you can find the book you were talking about, because I listened to it because I was so thrown off, and I was like, what? Yeah, it will make it to SNL. You know it will. And when they do it, it's gonna be hilarious, because if I didn't listen to it at first, I watched it with no audio, and I was like, now wait a minute, what is going on? And then when one of our friends posted it, she posted something about it, and I was like, wait a minute, I was working, my head was down. I don't know what you know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. And so then when I saw the clip and listened to it, I was like, oh heck no. So yeah, we want to, from the people in the Breakfast Club, where he does a donkey of the day, she gets the donkey of the day. And the Hammertones usually sing a version that I love. Oh, you are the donkey of the day. Yeah, Paula White, you are the donkey of the day. And now if what's the baby name? That's here, that used to be on Mike Evans in the Morning, she'd be on the Jackass Wall. So Paula, go and have you a whole row of seats. And for the people that had that space, if it was rented, y'all need to get you some bunches of sage and smudge that whole entire everything. All over the seats, the thresholds, the chairs, the stage, especially the pulpit, it needs to all be sage. You need to cleanse and purify that whole area. Am I right, y'all? Because that that was purity foolishness. That's what that was. Now let's talk about other things that are foolish. Let's talk about how foolish the occupant is. or as my pastor calls a big nasty grabber, or he's got a whole myriad of names. We'll just call him the occupant for now because he won't be the occupant for long. But let's talk about the foolishness that this nut had the nerve, audacity, unmitigated gall to come out and say that he had won all these states prematurely, y'all. One of the things that has been just so sweet to me, just a sweet nectar, is that he talked about and downplayed and dogged mail-in votes. Mail-in votes were necessary, you buffoon, because of the coronavirus. We had to make sure that we got our votes in, and they were counted in record number, by the way, and that we stayed safe. Now, here's what's amazing to me, that he actually went to the White House briefing room and he literally out of his own mouth and this time he read words, which means that Kelly McEnany or somebody wrote them for him, and he may have done a little ad lib because you know he can't resist. But the man literally stood there with a good, clean heart in his mind. This is how warped he is, and said, I wanted them to stop the votes. I wanted them to stop the count, rather, stop the count. He said that when the election day was done, he won. You told your voters, you told your supporters, which I guess I'm gonna say about that in a minute, you told your supporters to go in person and vote. Yes, the illegitimate office holder, thank you. Okay, wait a second. Eric Trump tweeted a few days ago, we have won Pennsylvania. Sure did. And then some shared that today saying Eric Trump has defected to the Biden campaign. I love it. Let me tell you something. The man that got out, he predicted that he won Wisconsin. This was him saying that when election day was over, he won Wisconsin, that he won Pennsylvania, that he had won some other states. But Pennsylvania, we know is still, first of all, it's blue now. This is as blue as my shirt. And Michigan, he said Michigan and Wisconsin were the two states he won, but we stole them. No, if you know how, no, little boy, the way that an election works, I know that you're not really sure how a true democracy operates because you colluded with the Russians for 2016 and did actually steal the election. So therefore, I know you're not really certain how this works, but we the people decide who wins. We the people make the choice. You got a chance to misunderstand that because you stole the election in 2016 with your foolishness because we weren't ready. We didn't understand just how evil and conniving and narcissistic you are. But now that we know that, we made sure that we protected ourselves and proactively prepared to not only go on the day, but to go early and vote and then do absentee ballots and mail-in ballots. And guess what? We, the people of the United States of America, get to decide who the president is. I know it's going to be hard for you, but you need to start getting your stuff together now and packing it up because you're going to get put out in January. Yes, thank you. First of all, he stole the entire 4 years last time. And Carol, this is the part that got me. I was sitting there looking at him and it blew my mind. I said, this man literally is talking about having an election stolen from him when literally 4 years ago, he stole an election from us. And I'm not talking about us Black people, us. I'm talking about us Americans. He literally stole an election. And the way that he had the margins were very similar to the narrow margins we're looking at now. And no one contested it. No one put in litigation and no one had Supreme Court. And he didn't even start with, I need to file a lawsuit. He just said, we're going to go to the Supreme Court. No, not again, little boy. Let me tell you, since you were at the podium having a little rant, that's not how this works. You don't go from, I said it, to the Supreme Court. Okay? Go back and look at what happened to you in Michigan earlier this week. When you filed a lawsuit, and it went to the judge said, foolery, no, be gone. And that is why the state of Michigan is blue. Okay? So no, if we sabotage the election, then how did McConnell win? How did Bill Haggerty win? How did Lindsey Graham win? Come on now, somebody. If we were still in an election, would it all not be completely blue? Let me tell you, if we were still in the election, Marquita Bradshaw would be representing me for Tennessee. Jamie Harrison would be, if we were going to steal an election from the voters, then we would have, Mitch McConnell would be getting his stuff packed up right now too, right? What the heck? Okay, so Carol, would you say, no, we need to do is watching and to make sure that the plane does not fly out of there. He's already said he's gonna leave the country. Okay, wait a minute, Carol, let me finish. And he's even much as lied, he means that. Now, here's one thing I can say. Trump, the one thing that he is consistent, he is transparent than a mug. That man will literally tell us every single step he plans to take. We don't have to be like the police, every step. We don't have to worry about that. I don't own the rights to that song, but let me tell you what I do own the right to, my opinion. And I agree with you, Carol. I said that this man said that there won't be a peaceful transition of power. And it may not be because people think that he's going to resist and that he's not going to leave the White House. Oh, no. He may have a non-submissive resistance happening because he may be absent. Anybody ever thought about that? What Carol is saying, and what I agree with, is that he knows one of the reasons I believe he wanted to maintain his position as the leader of the free world is because he is a criminal and he has just stack of indictments against him. He has monetary issues and financial woes beyond any average American's even comprehension, okay? Deutsche Bank has already made an announcement earlier this week that they're going to disallow themselves, disconnect themselves, disassociate themselves with him and his debt, and that they will be looking for him to pay them back once the election is over. That's some, it's not the whole 400 and plus million, but it's like 310 million, just 310. But have we not forgotten this man killed the leader? I can't remember his name. I'm not gonna make up stuff when I don't know it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, that he was so proud to say he had killed. Okay, well, you murdered this man, and the people who were following this man, the people in that place said, when you get out, this is not me saying this. These are the people who said this. When you get out of office, watch your back. Because we put a bounty on your head, we got $1 associated with your death, and we are not going to be satisfied until we take you out. So yeah, he knew that being in the White House gave him all these luxuries, all this covering, all this protection, because he would just do whatever he wanted to do. How many times have we literally sat back and said, huh? The president? When have we ever heard that? Have you ever heard a president of the United States literally get with the presidential seal in front of it at a podium and say that the very foundation and the institution of the democracy for which we practice and have for centuries is corrupt? He called out specific cities and said that they were literally corrupt. And it was not lost on me that those cities that he named were cities that were heavily populated by Black people. That's racist. Carol, what else you say? Let's see. I'm more disturbed that so many people believe in him, but has been on a plan to be the Republicans all along. They took the civics requirement out of education curriculum years ago so the people would be ignorant, and then they could cheat and manipulate and remain in power. Now, here's one thing that is so important. Carol, yes, you are absolutely right. We, not we as in women, not we as in Black, not we as in short. We as in Americans, okay? We as in Americans, because let me make one distinguishable comment, that I do not have an issue with Republicans. I don't. As a matter of fact, I have always loved a good verbal volley with Republicans. That's not what this is. The Republicans, for the most part, that I knew were just Republicans are on the shelf. And some have not had the conversion to be, with the exception of Rip Santorium, bless his heart, he is just mind gone. Do not support the foolishness that Trump is. Now, they made a mistake by not going ahead and letting him be impeached, because I wouldn't want this man taking over my party, because that's what he's done, is taking over the Republican Party. But now here's what I was going to say. The we that I'm pointing to for us is us. We need to do a better job of educating ourselves, and then educating the people that are coming up as young adults to understand how this government works. It's not just a one and done. There are three elements to it. And I'm going to do my level best. And there are other people who have educated this, y'all. And I want y'all type in swear if you agree to do this, just to learn what the three are if you don't, and then to share it with one person. Just type in swear, because people do not know the extent of the corruption this man has been involved in for years. Amen again, Carol. And there's so many things that we'll have a hard time trying to find, and because he has been so shady McGrady in all of his dealings, because he has had so much foolishness going on. Thank you, Stephanie. Just type swear, y'all, if you agree to learn the three things, the three elements, there are three parts, three branches of government. Get those, commit them to put them in who you are. Know that you know it, and then tell one person, because we need to have people informed about what's happening. We need to get involved in state and local government. We need to understand that the legislative leg of this thing is not the executive branch, that we need to understand that what's happening in our communities and who we have representing us is how we get to Trump's in the first place, how we get to Amy Coney Barrett's in the first place. Hello, somebody. But you've got to be in a position where you know. If you don't know, it is not blissful. I don't care what anybody says. Ignorant is not bliss. We have not been living in bliss for the last 3.5 years, but we getting ready to have some bliss. We getting ready to have some sweet bliss, because come January 2021, woo! I cannot wait. So I'm telling you what I know. He has so much stuff going on. He being the occupant, he has so much stuff going on, so much illegal stuff. We didn't even talk about the tax evasion and fraud. Hello. We didn't talk about that. That he really cannot put himself in the mindset to think, I'm not going to be in this position of power, because he really allows himself to believe, based on what I heard him say at the last briefing, that because he is holding that seat, that then every judge in the land should just automatically listen to and do what he says. Wrong. And then he's such a freaking narcissist, y'all, that he literally thinks that because he stole the election, he's allowed himself to believe his own lie, that he won the election in 2016. And then remember, he was so confident that he had won the election in 2016, that those 300,000 votes that were not the 300,000, 300 million votes that were the separator on the popular vote from him and Hillary Clinton, he commissioned someone to actually, a group of people to go and say, go find those votes, because I know they were mine too. She didn't win the popular vote. Wrong. That was a waste of taxpayer money. Don't let me forget, we are still in the midst, very much on the incline of the coronavirus. We have a dang on pandemic happening right now, which this man has done absolutely nothing to help, support, correct, or even provide support and funding to help the people that he's supposed to be so proud to govern over, this land. There are people now, even though I saw a report that 6.9 million jobs or 693,000 jobs were created, that still leaves 10 million people in this country without employment. That's since the pandemic. These numbers are staggering. And you can't tell me that the economy hasn't suffered because of the pandemic. You can't tell me that there are a whole bunch of folks who are in a position where they don't have employment now because of the pandemic. You can't tell me that the 110,000+ cases that we had overnight in 1 week, just 1 week, y'all. And that was just based on what I heard Wednesday night. This Friday, who knows what the count is now? We know that people are dying. I can tell y'all, it hit me home. It hit home with me. My own first cousin is dead. He would have been 63 years old last month, but he died from the coronavirus. The mail-in ballots were sent in multiple fold because of the coronavirus. That's all lost on them. That's like coronavirus. We had what? Pandemic. No, remember he said that was just going to go away at Easter. Wrong. Oh no, when it gets warm, it's gone. It's November now, right? And here we are, still losing people, still having cases. There's literally someone that's as close to me. I call him my brother from another mother, who said this morning, he lost his taste. He's scared to death, and he immediately went to get a coronavirus test. That is scary. He still got to go to work. That's why he's been exposed. But I guarantee you something else, that all those numbers that we saw, those 100,000 cases overnight this week, I bet you what? I bet they came from those super spreader events, from those nincompoops getting out there in the cold, packed up like sardines in school buses, going to Trump rallies with no masks on, with no PPE, with no concern for anyone else in this country. Okay, what y'all saying? Carol said, Stephanie said, yeah, y'all apparently, Nevada just said something about their reported numbers for yesterday were incorrect. You know what? This is what they're gonna do. We already know that here's what I can tell y'all that I anticipate to happen. Because Trump is so busy, and his children are so busy, because you know they on payroll, the nepotism is really real, that they are literally trying to make connections with anyone who will join in the Legion, because that's what they are, right? They will join in the Legion with them and try to make something out of nothing. So here's what we already know. And I can tell you right here, because I don't have any shame telling you that I serve an awesome God. He is sovereign. He is still king. He is still running things. And I can tell you, no matter what these people try to do, no matter how they try to swing and pull and twist and shout, they can do whatever they want with Nevada. Because here's what's going to happen. Biden is still going to be the president. And I don't care if he's 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, he's still going to be number 46. Hello? Okay. So now, we'll see what Nevada has to say. But, you know, it is, sure, Nevada, sure. Carol, let's see what you say. Carol said, I started following closely in 2015 after he announced, which was a farce. Much of the stuff that mainstream media has just started talking about, in this case, the last couple of months, I've been saying for the last 3.5 years. Yes, you have. Malcolm Nance, a Black counterintelligence agent, has written 3 books in the last 3 years about Russia and this man. And he has said from the beginning that he was an illegitimate office holder as a tool for Russia. Agree. And then he said he keeps changing the last book because the illegitimate office holder keeps doing so much. See, now this is what I'm saying. You know why Malcolm Nance isn't getting any recognition? Because he's a Black man. But I'm sure what he's saying is absolutely true. You can post the titles of the book on there, but know that Malcolm Nance has probably been exposed to and has privileged information to confirm, or as we call receipts, to validate his claims, because otherwise it would be slander and he could get sued from book 1. That would have been the case. But I'm telling y'all what I know. It's absolutely necessary for us to recognize, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, because can you believe it's almost 12:30? The last thing I have to say here is this. This is the beginning, not the end, okay? This is the beginning, not the end of the victory. And that's why I posted on my video on my page, on my personal page, victory is mine. Victory today is mine. We have victory every day in Jesus. Now, I want you to know this. We have got to show ourselves up with information. We've got to be sure that we help spread awareness and educate others. We have to be vigilant in making sure that we hold the people accountable for the jobs for which they have signed up and said they want to complete. We've got to put them in a position where we let them know we are watching you. We're watching you. So the things that you said and the things that you did that put you in a position where you felt warranted to have this kind of position as a civic servant, we want to hold you, as the civilians that you serve, we are going to hold you accountable. Here's the other thing that I want to say, and I want y'all to give me your feedback on this. How disappointed are you to know that in 2020, with 3.5+ years of lies, of negligence, of recklessness, of ignorance, of race and hate, racism and hatred and evil and vile behavior, disgusting representation, disrespectful perspectives, absolute disregard for human life, how, after all of that, do you feel about the numbers being where they are now with this election. Because I can tell you that I am sorely disappointed to know that there are a great number of American citizens, our fellow Americans, who still somehow allow themselves to believe that this person represents them and their beliefs and their values and norms and mores. What do you have to say about it? How do you feel about knowing that when you look at this electoral map, that we are really a state of hate? We're really living in a state of hate. How do you feel about that? What y'all say? Let me see. How do you feel about it? Because it is just, it's a hard pill to swallow. And I have made no bones about it, and I won't, that for any person who is in a position where they feel like Trump represents them and they voted for Trump and they support Trump, I really honestly can tell you, there is no way that you can do that and then say that you and I are friends, that you and I are family, that you care about me. You can't, because as a short, fat, Black, gay woman that is 50 years old, you don't care about me if you support Trump. There's no way you can, because if you are a person of color, and I'm not just talking about Black people, if you are a person of color, Carol, I'm gonna read what you said in a second. If you are a person of color and you've literally been, if you've seen anything, Trump has absolutely, and even up to date, has supported things that are against you. And not just Black people, no. I'm talking about people in this country that are Hispanic descent, that are Asian descent, that you have any color in your skin. He is not for you. All I got to do is show you Puerto Rico. So the fact that we had this overwhelming majority of Black people coming out, Black voices for Trump, and that the Hispanic community was voting for Trump, I don't understand that, because we still have babies, 554, 500 plus babies, children that are here right now who have absolutely no idea where their parents are. And they can't be reconciled with their parents because this administration literally took them and put them in cages. Those weren't Black people, those were Hispanic people. I don't get it. I don't know how you could possibly say that you support Trump. I don't know how you could possibly say you support Trump if you see that as a woman, he's put Amy Coney Barrett in Supreme Court, and she's completely contradictory to having a woman be able to choose what happens to her body. I don't get it. So the reality for me is that there are so many people who are still in our country today who believe that what Trump represents them. How do y'all feel about that? Carol said, you'll never look at some of your friends. Oh, Cammie, I'm sorry. Cammie, you said you'll never look at some of your friends and family the same way. How can you? How can you? It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And as much as it like in the second year, the second year of his only term, I reconcile myself with the fact that this may have been the awakening and the realization that we needed y'all to understand, for all the people who kept saying that racism is not an issue in this country, that racism is no longer alive and well and thriving, and that the flame has not been fanned on racism. I said, this will now show it, because he literally pulled the curtain back and said, oh no, don't hide your racism, hate, and evil. Come on out, come into the light. And that's what's happened, right? That's what's happened. Okay, let's see, Carol, I missed a couple things. You said America's myth is being exposed. The America is not great and has not been great for anyone other than white males in power. Amen. There needs to be repentance, but to do that, they have to admit all the wrongs that they've done. And how can we repent if they can't admit it? Now that's valid, but that's also part of the issue, isn't it? That we know that the old white men in power are being challenged now, because not only are there younger white men coming on who don't have the same mentality and philosophy that they share, but there are also people who now, because of the people of color, have connected with other people that we know that as years in the next 20 years, the majority of the Americans will not look like old white men. They will look more like me and you and have some color. They'll be in in the spectrum of color and not just the quote unquote white, which white has never been pure anyway, but that's a whole nother lie to munch. And then you said, when we hold up the mirror of truth though, they refuse to look because they can't stand the ugly, distorted image of the America they really are that looks back at them. Now, I agree with that, Carol. I agree. You've been right on, spot on with your comments. And it is disappointing. You say that it is, that's what's so disappointing. And what this says kind of speak to that we won't face the truth. And for those that have faced the truth, you know, I've been in conversations with people because this whole thing, especially with it being this week-long results collection and data gathering and hearing the analysis of people. One of the things I want to acknowledge is Roland Martin and his amazing historical perspective. He has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Black America, white America, America period, and the history that we have had to endure to bring us to date. He has never been afraid to say that Donald Trump is a liar. He has never been afraid to call out anybody who's on the wrong side of truth. He, including Ice Cube and Paris, whatever his name is, from Black Voices for Trump, he has been unafraid. And I have relied on him. And so now Roland Martin is saying, I told y'all, right? You know, this is where we are. But the thing that is, and this is a conversation I guess for us to have another day too, is what happened that we had so many people that were Black people in a position now where they felt like it was okay. That we had so many people, Black people, feel like I'll vote for Trump because I don't want a woman to be in a position to be the vice president. That's a problem too, y'all. We got some work to do. Like I said, this victory is a sweet, sweet victory. And I can't wait for it to be official and for it to be done. So join with me in manifesting finality in the victory, that it will be contested, but they won't win. That we know that hate never wins, that love wins. And we know that darkness is only conquered by light. So make sure you let your light shine today and shine throughout this process. And we will not take the bait of hate. I refuse. I'm going to err on the side of positivity and love and light. And that is why I'm here in my blue to celebrate. And y'all tell me what else you got to say, because I want you to be encouraged and know that we have made it through 100% of the foolishness we've had to experience for the last 3.5 years. We are now completely empowered. We are cloaked with knowledge. We are covered by blood of Jesus, and we have absolute reason to celebrate that we are going to be in a victorious state, because we have had record numbers. We've had young people engaged. We've had first-time voters who have been eligible to vote for years engaged. We've had people who had their rights stripped away, restored, and then engaged and involved. We've had people that that were on the parameters, that were sitting by, and bystanders get fully active. We have had people who have been on the side of Republicans who said, you don't represent me, Trump, and I'm not going to claim that you do because I'm in your same party. So I can't stand by Lincoln Project and idly watch this. I have to actively engage in encouraging others to stand for and do what is right. We have a lot to be proud of with that. And we have a lot of work that we still need to do about learning those 3 branches of government and then sharing the one. So post that you swear you will, if you will. Carol, let's see what you said. I wish that we would learn who we really are. A lot of the contributions and what we call the success of the country was built on our backs, and in this case, she means Black people. And all the greatest inventions, even the ones they stole and don't give us credit for, came from us. It is a sick kind of mindset that they have. That think about. This is Carol saying, think about it. We fed their children from our breasts before we fed our own, but we couldn't use the bathroom. We cooked their food, and we could have poisoned them all, but didn't. They have perpetuated fear against us for being violent, but we have not perpetuated ever initiated any mass murders against them as people, but we've been made it as an entire lifestyle. Our history in America can't be separated from theirs. Think of the sickness they brought us here. They are mad because we are They're mad because we're here. Ignorant telling us to go back as if we came here on our own volition. Well, those of us now, oh, I'm sorry. Well, those of us that are here now are Americans, and this is our America. If God would take us up out of here for 5 minutes and all our contributions, what would be left and where would we be? There would need to be, they need to realize that, and that we do too. So what Carol's saying is, you know, since we've been here, we didn't ask to be here, but now that we're here, we've made our contributions, built the country, built the White House, and our contributions stand, whether they've been acknowledged or not. And so be proud of who you are, the people of the land, people of color, people that have overcome, and people that have had opportunities to experience privilege and still recognize they want to do what is right. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you for being here with me today and for your comments. Make sure that you stay connected to people. It is a difficult time. There's a lot of anxiety happening in our land right now. We have loved ones who are anxious and who are not sleeping well and who are not eating. And it is because there is such a high level of uncertainty that's happened right now with this election that we have never been in this. This is literally history in the making, y'all. And we get to be a part of it. We made history. And I kept telling people, make sure that you're on the right side of history with this, because at the end of the day, we will have victory. And I'm sorry for those who made the wrong choice, but you are forgiven and we will continue to forgive. I just hope that we will be able to heal as a country. I am really happy with the position that former Vice President Joe Biden has taken, that he is promising to be a president for all Americans, whether you voted for him or not, and that he wants to focus on healing our country, restoring some of the dignity that we have lost over the course of 3.5 years. And then there's a lot of work that we've got to do to get healed physically, literally healed from this pandemic. So we will just continue to do this. You know, in the church, they say, I pray for you, you pray for me, and we'll watch God change things. I believe that. I'm manifesting victory. I don't care how many times they count in Georgia. I don't care what they say was correct or incorrect in Nevada. Shame on them for releasing numbers that they think weren't correct in the first place. I don't believe that. I think that's a farce, but that's another conversation. We're just going to continue to keep our eyes open, keep our minds open, keep our hearts open, and just let your light and love shine. Get those 3 branches of knowledge in your brain and share them with one person. That's a pinky swear. We've done it, y'all. We registered to vote. We checked our status. We made our vote and voice heard and known, and it has worked. We thank God, and I thank God for you. Now, I'm going to say this in closing, as I always do. You matter to me. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm giving you a hug. You know, this was the cyber hug. I told y'all that. This was a cyber hug. I love that. But I love this more. Good hug to keep you today until Monday when I'm back here with you live at lunch. Until then, make sure you keep an eye out, love on your folks, check on people and see what's going on with their anxiety level. And y'all get together and say some prayers, because we got, this is the beginning of a fantastic new blue start. I am delighted to be blue. And this is how we do it. So be everyday amazing, and make sure above all else, you live like it's a gift, because it truly is. I'll see you back here Monday live at lunch. Bye.